when you came into the game, right? You were one of the younger people to come in, open a center, and
you still have to do your training, right?
Get your certifications.
You still have to get your certifications because
what do
you're
you think? What's
babysitting.
the secret sauce you giving them? What's the jewels you giving them that you wish you knew when you were?
We concluded our meeting this morning. I was told that one of our students tested for Jefferson.
On-site owner and in your centers, how do you think the engagement with the teachers is? What do you think your
Short-term disability, long-term disability, paid vacation, sick days, personal days, holidays, holidays.
Few people know I'm a coach for the Child Care Millionaires Association. I'm the vice president for the Child Care Association of Louisiana. I have put myself in
recognize me. I never met this person a day in my life.
Hey, welcome to another episode of the Child Care Teacher Chronicles podcast, where we talk about all things child care, but specifically as it relates to the teacher point of view. I have a special guest here with me on today. I'm going to put a little respect on her name, Dr. Jamie Lewis. Hey, Dr. Jamie Lewis, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm well. Thank you for being here. We have her here on today. We're going to be talking about calling out the red flags, the shady side of the childcare industry. But before we get into this juiciness, let me have her introduce herself and how come she is the perfect person to speak on today's subject.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here.
I'm Dr. Jamie Lewis. Dr. Jamie Lewis. I've been in the childcare industry for 17 years. I've been a provider for 6 with 2 locations in Jefferson Parish. Funny backstory, how I came into this industry. I had to pray for patience and guidance.
Hey, I'm about to say, what happened to him, girl?
But listen,
I got rid of you, brother.
But because my brother and I are 9 years apart, I had to pray for patience. So praying for patience at a young age, I'm like, what is that?
Right.
What do I have to do? But we are God-fearing people. I knew how to pray because I've been to Catholic school my whole life.
Right.
And that's how I did it. I prayed so much that I've been working with children for 17 years.
You prayed yourself into this industry,
I prayed myself into this industry, and I'm like...
Would that tell me you should have a good solid foundation? So I
have a good solid foundation as to how I was able to expand my brain. With 2 locations, childcare centers in Jefferson Parish, I am a coach. A childcare coach. And I am a childcare consultant. But the problem that I have is I don't market and I don't advertise myself. So it's pretty much, if you know me, call me.
Well, if you don't know me, you could be missing out.
And if you don't know me, you could be missing out because I am an author as well.
Oh, we got to change this because you are newly a doctor, right?
I am newly a doctor.
Okay, so that means you have a whole new rebranding scheme coming out with the new title, the new name, and all the different things you attribute to this industry.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And this is my season.
This is your season.
This is my season. Now, granted, I had a very rough start of the year. But this is my season.
I think we all did. I think 2025 was just trying to take all of us out. Like it came in whooping my ass.
January don't count. I started my new year February 1st.
Okay, I'm with you.
Right? So I'm 25 days into my new year.
Okay.
And for the 25 days that I've started my new year, things have been turning around because I'm being intentional.
Because she a doctor, she could just get rid of January, right? That's how they do, right? But I ain't mad at her. But no, I'm excited for you. I do hope that all good things come. But let's talk a little bit more about this childcare industry. You are, as we talked earlier, we talked about how young you were when you came into the game, right? You were one of the younger people to come in, open a center, and it came with some turbulence, So let's kind of get into your story of, you say you opened a center because of your brother, the patients you prayed for, and the Lord just directed you in this way. But what did that look like when it was time to finally say, you know what, I'm gonna open a center, let me go forward with it?
So I opened my first location when I was 27.
Very young.
Very young. So you do the math. I've been open for 6 years now. So I'm still fairly young in the industry. But it's the term oil, right? Because I wanted to open my center before 27, and I was told that I wouldn't be able to.
Okay.
Wow. By someone that I love dearly. Like, it was more so of I think it was a power struggle, right? And you don't want me to, a woman, benefit or make more than a man. So for years, I was told that I wasn't able going to do it.
You had to play the back seat.
I had to play the back seat. My oldest child is 10. When I found out I was pregnant with her, I didn't work for 9 months. And once I had her, I didn't work for a year and a half. So I think it was more so of, let me continue to be over you or make more than you or be in charge. And that's when I realized I want to do this for myself.
Right.
So some things happened in my life and I opened my center.
Okay.
The center, when I first opened my center, it was a established childcare center, but it wasn't doing well.
Okay. We find those
often, right? So I went in only with the education that I had, which was an associate's degree and a bachelor's degree in early childhood education.
And you did have experience.
But I had experience because I was working in a childcare, several childcare facilities. But then I was working for a lead agency.
Right.
So when I opened my center in 2019, I was working for another company.
Okay.
But I still had staff at the center that I was taking over.
Right.
Now, granted, I had to go in and reconstruct everything.
Right.
Right. The building wasn't up to my liking. So I had to go in and I had to do all of that. So then it was, well, how is she so young working for a lead agency and now she's opening her own center?
Right.
Right. So then when the word got out, oh girl,
here come the shade.
Shady. So when the word got out, right? Because I don't talk a lot.
Right.
I'm very shy and very quiet, and I keep to myself. But if you know me, you know I have a heart of gold. I will help anybody.
Right.
So when word got out that I opened a center while working for a lead agency, they wanted to fire me.
Oh, really?
Because it was competition.
Conflict of interest? No.
They just said it was competition. But I had already taken care of that with HR and signed my paperwork, right? But everybody didn't know that.
Right.
So when they found out about it, it was like, oh, well, we can't really do anything. So then I tried to partner with them.
Right.
That's when the conflict of interest came in.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So since 2019, I have been trying to partner with Head Start and Early Head Start, Jefferson Parish and Orleans Parish. Nobody wants to partner with me.
Why do you think that is?
Because I opened the center while working for a lead agency. And I think it's because they're looking at me like, I couldn't do it, so how can she? And she shouldn't benefit off of what we're doing because of the way that she opened the center. Right? But that's where the shadiness comes in. We're all here for one purpose.
Right.
And one purpose only, and that's to care for the children.
Right.
I don't care what anyone thinks about me or what they say about me because I only have one priority.
Right.
And that's the well-being of the children.
Right.
So it's hard, but it's rewarding.
Well, let me tell you, just kind of speaking into that, I know with me before I started owning my first center, I was working as a director. The lady had just opened it, and I was like, we got to get kids in here. We got to get kids in here. And so I called the Head Start organization, and it's like, are you all looking to partner? We need kids in our center. And it was like, oh no, we're not looking to partner. Okay. Well, the lady came in one day and was like, oh, I'm closing the center. I'm like, what you mean you closing the center? I just left another job. I'm directing here. Like, what you mean? So long and the short, I ended up buying her out, right? This was in October. My official first day of under It Takes a Village was in December. In January, the Head Start organization called me. And it was like, we looking to partner. We got 38 seats that we need to fill. Great. Bring them on in here. So the reason I brought that up is because we often think that we need them or things are going to pan out the way we want them to. I wasn't even looking for Head Start to come because they had just told us no, they wouldn't be filling seats. But then they came for me. I think what's ironic about your situation is I think you got so much more to give than what these seats will offer. You know, and I often have to sit back and have that conversation with myself. What happens if I don't have all these grant seats? How would I still survive? What connection can I build? Because what they don't realize is in the blink of an eye, especially who in office now, all this could be snatched from under us.
I mean, just like he tried to freeze the funds one day, and then the same day you had to unfreeze
Absolutely.
it.
Absolutely.
It's just crazy. And that the administration is crazy, and I can understand the Head Start point of view on it now, but back then, y'all had the money.
Had the money.
They had the money. They just had to give money back.
Yeah, they don't spend it. They got to give it back.
Yeah. Like, okay, so Jefferson Parish, I have 2 buildings. Early Head Start Jeff Cap, they don't have any buildings. So partner with me. Right? I was awarded seats with Jefferson Parish Early Head Start in April of 2023. June 2024. When we were coming back to school in August,
they took the seats.
They took them. So that put me in a really big bind.
Yeah.
Right?
Control.
Yeah, because I wasn't marketing the way that I should have been marketing to fill my seats.
Right.
Right?
You didn't think you had to.
Because this is what it is.
Right.
And I was calling, I was reaching out, trying to get clarification, communication. Nothing. It took me to go to a board meeting to show up. To say, what's going on?
Right.
Like, where is the miscommunication? Also find out that somebody else dropped the ball.
And then it affected not only your sender, but all the children that was involved with your sender.
Yeah, but then y'all had to give millions of dollars back.
Yeah.
Because you did a change of scope.
You didn't handle your business right. So when we talk about you opening and coming into the childcare world, tell me this: what's one big misconception that people have about opening a childcare establishment?
That they don't need to get with licensing. That they don't have to be licensed.
Oh, you talking about all these? I know you not talking. I know, Dr. Jamie not up here talking about all these illegal childcare.
Illegal childcare centers. Okay. Illegal childcare centers. I knew of 2 personally, and I'm like, I cannot work with you until you get this right.
Until you get licensed.
And
so, what do you think they pushback of getting licensed was? Why would they hesitant to it?
Okay, so we have in-home. Let's talk about in-home, right? Because if I'm doing it in my house, I don't have to be licensed. Yes, you do.
When you said that, I'm like, yes, you do. That's their thoughts.
Yeah, but they don't want to have to go through everything that requires being licensed, right? Because you still have to get insurance. You still have to do your training, right?
Get your certifications.
You still have to get your certifications because, I mean, you're babysitting. Because I don't have a babysitting service.
Yeah, we don't babysit.
We educate.
Right.
We're educators. So we're going to educate the little people. I call them little people. It's too many names to remember. Everybody is little people. Right? But you have to get the training that you need. So with that being said, I have an ebook on how to open a child care center in Louisiana. Step by step.
And it tells you from the very first
step by step, the very first thing you should do.
And so if you've made it so easy and in plain form for people to do it, why do you still think there's a pushback with getting licensed?
Because they want to be legal.
Because they want to be illegal. They don't
want to be held accountable.
They don't.
But if a child hurts themselves in your care and you're not licensed and you don't have the insurance, you're going to lose your house.
You definitely can. And more.
Yeah, and more.
So let me ask you this. What's one thing you wish you knew when you were coming into opening your own center?
Oh, one thing I wish I knew?
Just kind of like how you compiled this book for people to be able to open in Louisiana. What do you think? What's the secret sauce you giving them? What's the jewels you giving them that you wish you knew when you were looking to open your own center?
Oh. So for me, it was easy because I did the research, right? But what's not easy to me, I guess the answer to the question would be marketing. Because I'm quiet. I don't talk to people. If they don't, I can sit in the room with 1 million people. And if they don't come talk to me, or if I don't know you, I'm not going to talk.
So then they're not gonna know who you are, what you do, what you can offer them.
But in this season, they're gonna know who I am.
All right now.
Dr. Jamie.
Doctor. So let me ask, what's the most unexpected challenge of owning?
Girl, the insurance.
Ooh, if that insurance
Girl,
going up and up.
up
Everybody
and
want to
up
own
and
the center so bad, but can you afford it?
Okay, so let's talk about that. Because when I first opened, insurance wasn't that high.
It wasn't.
So I'm like, girl, yeah, you could do it. Let me see. I'm gonna send my agent so that you could talk and she gonna give you the best deal. Insurance is high.
Some people policies has tripled.
But it's not paying out anything. I just had an incident in October. I'm still not open. Insurance is the biggest ripoff ever.
Yeah.
And they don't pay anything.
Yeah, I be saying that now. I be like, oh, I wish I could figure out just how I could not pay insurance ever.
Well, in Louisiana, you better pay your wind, your fire, and your flood, because you never know.
You never know.
So you go in like I mean, maybe not in debt. Well, maybe you do go in debt, paying your insurance. I mean, your insurance now is compatible to your payroll.
I pay up with 6 figures for all my policies.
That's crazy.
6 figures for all my policies.
Yes, that's crazy. And then what's your content? Probably bare minimum. What's your loss of income?
Absolutely.
Bare minimum.
And then, like you said, when you need the file, you can't. They like, you don't qualify.
You don't qualify.
So, but even still, let's talk a little bit more about like you being that on-site owner and in your centers. How do you think the engagement with the teachers is? What do you think your history in working in childcare centers and working for that lead agency, how do you think that prepared you to not have to deal with so much of the shadiness of early childcare?
Being transparent, being open. My staff can come to me with anything. However, I do have a chain of command because there's so many of them. I don't want to be bombarded.
Right.
So I ask, if it's something that can be handled, please talk to your curriculum coordinator. If your curriculum coordinator can't help you, go to the director. If the director can't help you, then come to me. But please follow all of those commands before coming to me. Now, if it's something personal that you want to talk to me about, only me, come to me. Then, right? But I don't need everybody coming to tell me that they got to take off. Or this child in the class not doing
small things.
Yes. Or this parent had an attitude with me this morning.
Right.
Don't take it personal because I don't pay you to feel.
Speaking of P, I find that that's one of the things that actually contributes to the shady side of childcare when you have teachers whose job hopping for 50 cents more, 25 cents more, 30 cents more. So how do you handle those teachers who has those concerns about pay and, make that? I had one girl, she was like, they're gonna pay me 45 cents more. Girl. I said, okay, well, you be blessed.
Let me tell you something.
Because they try to hold you hostage.
Don't hold me hostage because I'm going to help you find another job. Okay? I'm going to help you. I'm going to call and ask, are you hiring? I have this employee, X, Y, and Z. She can come over. So I say that to say this. I invest in my staff tremendously, right? Because I worked in lead agencies, I know how it feels to not be appreciated,
right,
and not to be valued,
right.
So I try my best. I'm not perfect. I'm a doctor, but I'm not perfect. But I try my best to be there for them, to give them life experiences that they have never experienced, right? So since I've been open, since 2019, I have taken 40 employees within the 6 years to different places. So I've taken them to conferences, right? So that they can get the same quality of education.
While we talk about that, let me put this commercial break in. We are on our way to the 2025 Child Care Teacher Reset Retreat, July 25th through 27th at the IP Casino in Biloxi. I always say, don't leave your teachers behind. This retreat is a place for teachers to come and get information, but also relax, also get some stress management and emotional intelligence and self-awareness training. So I am here to tell you, if you have not gotten your tickets yet, we need to see you at the 2025 Childcare Teacher Reset Retreat. It is important to pour into your teachers.
It's very important. It's very important because you pour into them, they're going to come back and pour into those children.
It makes them feel included. It makes them feel a part of the team. It gives them more commitment to you.
It does until.
Until what?
Until they find out that another parish is paying.
That 45 cents more.
That 45 cents more. They leaving. Right? I have, true story, I had 6 employees walk out. Walk out in 1 week.
Oh, this sounds like some shade. What had happened was
6 employees walked out in 1 week and went to Orleans Parish.
For that pay.
For the pay. The 45 cents more. I have 6 employees that's trying to come back to the New Horizon Learning Academy.
And what you think is bringing them back?
What's not bringing them back? They're going to take a pay cut to come back because of everything that I did to pour into them, and to make them seen, to make them feel valued, to make them, feel appreciated.
They often miss that. They often take that dollar amount as the be all end all, but then forget all the other attributes that an owner or a director or an establishment can pour into them.
Yep.
That's something to think about.
That is something really big to think about, right? Because I've taken these ladies to Universal Studios. We've stayed in mansions. We've had private chefs. These are experiences that they have never had. Adults. Not like little kids, not 18, 17. I'm talking like 28, 30, 40 that never had this experience.
Right.
But you're working somewhere else where you're in the classroom by yourself with 25 children. 25 2-year-olds? What's your stay ratio? You calling, crying to your friends that's still working here, and they're telling you, girl, I don't even know why you left. It's not that bad.
Right.
I'm not going to leave one child care center to go work at another child care center for the same reason that you crying and calling me right now.
Right. Well, but that speaks volumes to an owner who actually contributes to their team, an owner who actually see beyond the dollar, an owner who actually makes them feel included, So, but when we talk about that, what's one creative benefit or incentive you use to keep your teachers happy?
Are they happy? Because 6 of them walked out.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, how we get? Well, you.
So I offer benefits.
Right.
Health. Dental, vision, short-term disability, long-term disability, paid vacation, sick days, personal days, holidays, professional development, CDAs for free, CDAs for free, and allowing them to take the classes on the clock. Right? So, I don't know what else to do. To pour into them so that they can know that they are valued and that they are appreciated, only to get a slap in the face because you want 45 cents more. It's shady. It's shady.
So my question was going to be, do you think the pay is the number one reason that teachers leave? But obviously so. If you can do a plethora of things that can make sure that you are caring for them, you concerned about them, you trust them, you need them, you want to support them, but they can leave for a dollar amount. What really makes you go the extra mile continuously then?
So listen, my heart is hard because of that, right? Because I pour into them. I never imagined closing on a Monday and getting to work Tuesday or getting a phone call at 6:58 Tuesday morning saying that we don't have no employees. Because y'all didn't give a 2-week notice. Y'all just left the paper on the desk when y'all left and locked the building up. So we don't have anybody to come and open because it's your openers and your closers that then walked out. Because of course, y'all have been working for so long together, y'all have built a friendship.
Right.
So I'm going to tell my friend, girl, we could go over here and get this 45 cents, maybe $1.
Right.
I don't have an early Head Start program. So when we're closed, you don't get paid.
Right.
I don't know no other job that you can go to get paid for not working.
Right.
Unless it's a organization, right, that has partnered with the child care center, that contract says that you have to pay them regardless because we're paying you.
Well, I just kind of what you're talking about. That's the hard side of those centers who do not get those grant funded seats, who do not get those contracted seats.
Mhm.
I know we are a part of one program where it's a minimum requirement. We have to pay them 15.50 an hour. 15.50 an hour, which is, a few dollars substantial from where we were before that requirement came in. And so what we find is you get a lot of people applying because they want that 15.50, right? You get a lot of people applying, but they're leaving one center to come to the next. But
yeah, so they leaving a center in Jefferson Parish that, girl, somebody came and interviewed yesterday and they getting $11. I didn't even know we were still paying $11. Anybody that walks through my door with experience or without experience, I start them off at $14. Right? With the potential of you going up. I mean, you can increase. But it comes along with your performance.
Right.
It comes along with your attendance.
Right.
Like, you don't just get a pay increase because you've been working here for a year or 2 years. That it doesn't work that way.
That $11-12 is still very much so prominent in this area for childcare.
Wow.
I think what happened is those who are able to get these grant seats, they're able to afford so much of a higher pay. Those who don't, because as we know, there's still the hold on childcare assistance, the wait list. There's parents who just can't afford care at this moment. And so that salary plays a big factor in how much you're getting in for tuition. So it's a lot that the staff have to consider. It's a lot that the centers have to consider. But I'm on board with you. If you have a center that's pouring in so much more to you, and it's our duty to allow these staff to see this, right? Like I had one teacher, she was making maybe like 13 something. I believe it was 13 and some change. Well, she put in her 2-week notice because wherever she was going, it was going to pay her like 75 cents more. But she was also getting 2 bonuses every month. The 2 bonuses put her pay up to like 16 something. In her mind, she couldn't calculate.
Financially intelligent.
She couldn't. She could not do it.
But okay, so what about this? You want more money, but then they're going to cut your housing off. They're going to cut your food stamps. They're going to cut your child care assistance. So you have to think, your Medicaid, you have to think about that and balance it out, right? Because, you may not be on Section 8. You may have some type of housing program that's income-based. Every time you get a raise or every time you get a bonus, that calculates. And they include that. So your rent is going to keep going up. You're not going to ever get up in life by doing that.
Right.
You need to have some type of stability so that you can work towards what you really want. But they're not financially intelligent.
Well, that comes back from us being able to educate our staff. You can't blame people for what they don't know. We just need to be able to show them. Like I said, we literally had to sit and say, do the calculations. Let's add this up. And she was finally like, oh, I get it. But it comes from us needing to go a little bit further and a little bit deeper with them. But let's talk about, so were you ever a director?
I'm a director right now.
So you are the owner and the director right now?
I mean, I wear a lot of hats.
Okay.
I do.
Okay, because I was going to ask, what do you think is the main difference that sets you apart from your owner hat and your director's hat?
So as the owner hat, my staff cannot talk to me directly without going through the chain of command, right? But if I'm the acting director, who else they gonna go to?
Right.
Because now I fall in that chain of command.
Usually they gotta talk to you.
So they gotta talk to me.
Which one you think is harder, being the owner or being the director?
I don't know. Let's call my staff and ask them. So it's hard working directly under me. So my curriculum coordinator, like all of my managers, it's hard working directly under me because I know personally that I have poured into them. Right? I have given them everything that they need so that they can pour into the employees.
Right.
So as a director, I now have to pour into my employees because that's just where it is.
Right.
So it's 2 sides to it. I enjoy working for the business,
right,
and not working in the business,
right,
but you can't work for something that you never worked in.
right. Say it again, though.
So you can't work for something that you never worked in. So being an owner, you're working for the business. Being a director, you're working in the business with your feet to the ground. I am never going to ask any of my employees to do something that I have not done myself or something that I will not do. I'm cleaning toilets. I'm wiping behinds.
Mm-hmm.
I'm changing light bulbs.
Mm-hmm.
I'm unclogging the toilet.
Right.
I'm cooking. I'm serving food. I'm teaching. I'm doing curriculum. Like, I do every aspect for the business.
Mm-hmm. So let me ask, when we talked about the teachers who left and those who you have, do you think the teachers understand the pressure that you are under as the owner?
Girl,
and
they don't
director?
care. This your business. They don't care.
Mm-hmm.
Because at the end of the day, like I tell them all the time, if state walk in here
Mm-hmm.
and the office paperwork is not done, they're going to shut me down.
Right.
If state walk in here to do an investigation and I have not documented everything that needed to be documented, or I have not reported everything that needs to be reported, they're going to shut me down. That's my livelihood. Y'all can go find another
They're gonna
job.
go right to another center.
You're going to go find another job.
Mm-hmm.
But if you have done something to the children and I didn't document it,
Mm-hmm.
what that say about me?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And then it's okay for you to go and find another job because your background's still clear because I never said anything.
Right.
Girl, I'm not losing my livelihoods to save you. Do what you need to do. If you're here for a paycheck only, please exit.
Please exit. I tell that to my staff. I be like, look, y'all could do something that'll get me in trouble. I'm gonna be on the news saying it was you. I'm gonna call your name out.
I'm
gonna
calling
pull out-
everybody name
I'm
because
gonna
I'm
pull
not
all
taking
the
the fall.
documentation that I made sure I trained you on, I taught you on, and you did it on your own, not
That's
because of something I missed the ball
That's
with.
it. Because you were trained properly,
Mhm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
You dropped the ball.
So in how you're having this very real and authentic conversation, how do you think your staff is receptive to when you have these conversations with them, when you're trying to tell them this is what we need to do? It's not gonna be me. I can support you, but you gotta handle your business. How do you think your staff is receptive to that?
I don't know. I think we should call them because I had that conversation before I came here. I had all three of my managers in
right now, huh?
I had all three of my managers in the office.
Okay.
We did class observations. I mean, we've been doing class observations, so the scores are coming back.
Okay.
We were high proficient, 2 points from excellent. We're proficient now, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna be. I mean, I'm open and honest and transparent because
I'm
I don't
sitting
want
here-
people to think that I'm perfect because I am not. No matter how much I pour into my staff, I pour into myself. We're all human.
Right, absolutely.
So we all fall sometime.
Right.
But I'm going to be there to lift you up.
Right.
So the conversation that I just had was, it's not my teachers.
Right.
You have a position to make sure that they're doing what they're supposed to be
Right.
doing. When people get comfortable, what they do? The bare minimum.
They lax.
Do your job.
Right.
Because guess what? If they scores come back and they not right, it falls on you, not them, because this is your job.
Right.
You're supposed to be with these teachers every single day. Every day. If you are doing your observations and you see that they're not pulling their weight,
right,
you have a performance profile.
Right.
You need to document that, right? And then if you see that they have not improved, you need to start micromanaging. Who likes micromanaging? Who likes to be micromanaged?
Nobody.
You are an adult.
Right.
Do your job.
Right.
Now, granted, we have a lot of children in not just my center, statewide, nationwide, that are on the spectrum, right? Louisiana do not have the resources to help our teachers. They don't have the resources to help our parents. So the trainings that they are providing,
they have limited resources for the parents.
Where?
Limited.
But the parents have to show up.
Right. No, you absolutely
the parents
right.
have to show up. Right? So when we know that the parents aren't showing up, it falls on us.
Right.
And then if we try to hold them accountable,
right,
what happens?
Then we the blame. We the problem.
My baby go to school every day, and girl, she don't do nothing. They just babysit. This not a babysitting service.
Right.
Before we concluded our meeting this morning, I was told that one of our students tested for Jefferson Parish school system. She going to an honors program.
Mm-hmm.
Now she's coming from New Horizon Learning Academy.
Mm-hmm.
4 years old
Mm-hmm.
on an honors program.
Mm-hmm.
When the children leave our center, they're ready.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're ready.
And so you have a certain amount of standards that you want to hold your leadership team up to,
Mm-hmm.
and you want them to be accountable. So how does that play in you all having everyday conversations? You all having that trustful relationship, because some people can't take the tough love. Some people can't take the hard
If you
conversation.
can't take the tough love, then you can't work under me.
Okay, so that means they could take it. They understand.
Oh, girl, I'm sure they curse me out a lot. Cause I walked, I said, y'all just called me a motherfucker.
Y'all
This
just
bitch
said
getting
this
on my
right.
What? Who?
You.
Me?
You.
Girl, do your job.
I'm a doctor now. You can't talk to me like
some
that.
respect on my name. Doctor bitch.
But no, you're very honest. You have to have those real life conversations,
Yeah.
especially with your leadership team. You pay them to have a position. You pay them to play that
I
position.
mean, but then again, it's not a lot.
Right.
But it's still a leadership position.
Right.
Right? And truthfully, some programs, the teachers get paid more than the leaders.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
So, I mean, where do we win?
Mm-hmm.
Where do we win?
Mm-hmm.
In this industry? Like, it's hard.
It is.
You have to love what you do to show up every day.
Yeah, but you also have to make sure that you are kind of how you talked about taking your team to different conferences and events. You as an owner and a director, you have to put yourself in those positions. You have to put yourselves in those right rooms with those right people, with the positive role models. And I say this all the time, quite a few people know I'm a coach for the Child Care Millionaires Association. I'm the vice president for the Child Care Association of Louisiana. I have put myself in organizations that I see I can benefit from, and that also, they can benefit from me. As owners, we have to continuously put ourselves in room with people who understand us, people who can have the same conversation with us. Yep. Your teacher's not going to understand what you're going through. Nope. Most times your leaders, although they may sympathize, they don't understand what you're going through.
Until they're in their room.
And then your family, a lot of times you can't have these conversations with your families because they don't understand, especially when we talk about the shady side of childcare, when we talk about, it's so much.
Girl, let me hear. It's me.
So much I can verbalize right now.
Tell me a little bit.
But the Lord said, don't call them out because the battle is mine.
That's what he said. You know what? And you're right. But I don't think it's a battle. So say it, sis.
It's not a battle. So say it, sis. No, I'm going to just say this. We have to continue to not be crabs in the bucket. Mm-hmm. We have to continue to look for what we need that feeds our soul. Mm-hmm. We have these different groups and organizations that's popping up and coming around. And I mean everywhere, in all states. Mm-hmm. But a lot of times they don't get past their local mentality.
So it took for someone in Atlanta, Georgia, to recognize me. I never met this person a day in my life. But I received a call that said, you've been nominated for Best Daycare of the Year. And I'm like, girl, who nominated me?
Right.
I don't talk to nobody. So who nominated me?
You better start opening that mouth.
Okay. I got an award for Best Daycare of the Year.
Congratulations.
For 2024. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Along with the President Achievement Award.
Okay.
I'm like, wait, somebody is really paying attention to me?
Yeah.
But it takes for someone else in another state. Because not even in Louisiana, let alone the parish that my center is in, that anybody recognizes anyone. Because it's more so of a battle. I don't want her to have more than me.
Battle. I hear that often, like battle or popularity or who knows who or who's clicked up with who. Yeah.
I mean, I see it often. It's a true fact.
Yeah, it happens.
It's a true fact. And I mean, it's not a competition.
It's not.
Because your center can hold so many.
Right.
My center can hold so many. Right? I mean, that's why I expanded, because my first location had a 2.5-year wait list. So that's why I got another location. But the industry isn't doing what it was doing when I got my second location.
Right.
But I still have a building for anybody that's willing to come in and want to start a childcare facility.
Okay.
Or if the money comes.
Right.
If the funding comes.
Right.
we can start enrolling more children.
Right.
I have the space.
Right.
I just don't have the funding to bring the children.
Right. And that's that battle we're trying to get.
It's the battle because we have people that's been on contracts for years.
Girl, get more and more seats every year.
Get more and more seats every year. I mean, like, what you doing? How you expanding?
Right.
I mean, but we're here for that purpose.
Right.
I'm not knocking anybody.
Right.
But if I can help, but if they have some funding, I mean, share the wealth,
Share the
right?
wealth,
Because you're sharing the wealth. You're not gatekeeping. I just learned what that was, gatekeeping. But if you're not gatekeeping, right? We all can benefit because we're all here for one purpose.
Service the children. And then sharing the wealth, that means the wealth for the children, you know.
That's it.
Because I tell people all the time, one of my locations is in a 1 mile radius of 8 apartment complexes. Girl. You know how, and right in front of public transportation. You know how many families I can service?
Both of my centers is the only commercial building on for blocks of apartment complexes.
You could service so many families.
So many kids.
Yeah, well, I wanted to definitely get you on because we talked a little bit about, you know, you coming in younger in the game, just kind of some struggles you had, you know, people not being, you know, too open or willing to help. But it sounds like despite of, you know, you've made it. It sounds like despite of you went from one center to 2 centers. It sounds like despite of you are now a doctor. So I want to thank you for coming in and talking to us about just a little bit about the shady side of childcare and how we can pour into the teachers and having those real conversations with our staff. But let me let you end with letting us know what's next for you. What you have going on. How can we find out more about you?
So I'm on Instagram. I have 2 pages, one for my business and a personal page. My personal page is SheEO of underscore what it is.
Oh, we're gonna have to see.
Okay, so I think it's she. So listen, I'm not a social media person. Let me just say that. I used to have someone to run my pages.
Right.
But I wanted to take that for myself. Like I wanted to start in my new year branding for myself, marketing for myself. What that looks like, I'm still trying to figure it out. But yes, I do have a social media, SheEO of childcare. I have an ebook, A New Horizon, of opening a childcare center in Louisiana. I'm consulting nationwide, not just in Louisiana, and a child care coach as well. Not just in Louisiana. I have clients in Georgia. I have clients in Louisiana. I have some in Philadelphia.
Okay.
So just branding and putting myself out there more.
And sharing the knowledge, sharing the wealth, because you don't want people to go through what you went through.
I'm not going to gatekeep.
Right. Not gatekeeping.
You call and ask, I'm going to give you a price, but I'm going to give you all the information that you need.
That's right. Because your knowledge is not free.
It's, girl.
I know.
I got 4 degrees.
Oh, you gotta pay for it. If I want it, I'll pay for it. But no, we are wrapping up another episode of the Child Care Teacher Chronicles. I would like to thank Dr. Jamie Lewis for coming in and gracing us with her presence and her knowledge. As always, we want you to like, follow, and subscribe. This is the Child Care Teacher Chronicles podcast where we talk about all things child care, but specifically from the teacher's point of view. We will catch you on another episode.